I'm Morella Fernandez. Thanks for watching tonight. It is Fright Night in Florida. Hurricane Milton made landfall on the state's southwestern coast as a Category 3, bringing with it winds reaching more than 200 kilometers an hour. Surging waves have already flooded out some communities, and it is the storm surge that is the most threatening. More than 7 million people were asked to clear out of their homes around Tampa Bay. But Milton has rotated south tonight and made landfall in a place called Siesta Key, south of Sarasota. All right, let's bring in Sheriff Kurt Hoffman of the Sarasota Police Department. He joined us to talk some more. Sheriff, how is it outside? How are the conditions outside of where you are?
Yeah, it's deteriorating by the minute. We're here at our headquarters building, just about a half mile from our emergency operations center. I've lost power 3 times waiting to come on this call. So if it goes dark behind me, just bear with me and the generator will kick in. But we're sustained 70-mile-an-hour winds at this point, still probably an hour or more before landfall. We know we have a lot of folks from Canada here in Sarasota, and people back home are probably wondering. But we have our assets staged and we're prepared as soon as it's safe to go back out to get out there and do search and rescue operations.
My understanding is that you were not in a zone where it was mandatory to evacuate. Is that correct?
Well, the Emergency Operations Center is Category 5 hurricane protected, and our building here is Category 3 protected as well. So we're fairly east of our coastal area, both the Emergency Operations Center and our headquarters, but certainly along our barrier islands and inland for a mile or two in some places, we're going to see the surge that's been described by all the weather folks.
I'm guessing what I'm asking, because we understand that the storm has pivoted a little bit. Are there residents that you are worried about now that maybe should have left but thought it was okay to stay?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been messaging for the last several days that they needed to get out in this storm. And I will tell you, after having lived here for 40 years and been in law enforcement for 35 years, I've been through a lot of storms. I would say this is the storm that the majority of the people heeded our warning and left. Our interstate was packed. The deputies who just came off the road about an hour ago because the winds got too high told me that all of our streets are vacant. They're not seeing any traffic out there. That's a good thing. That means that people were heeding the warnings from our Emergency Operations Center and from their local law enforcement agencies. Do
you still know if there are residents in communities you are worried about?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we have areas here. This is a coastal area, barrier islands. Some of those barrier islands, you could probably throw a baseball from the intercoastal waterway out to the Gulf of Mexico. They're very narrow, and certainly not everybody got out. And then we have a lot of canals and waterways internally within our county. So once it jumps over that barrier island area and gets into that secondary, what we call the intercoastal waterway, it's going to push a lot of that water up into our residential areas. So not everybody got out, and we're not sure where this water is going to go. So I'm sure there are still some folks in harm's way. We're telling everybody now, if you're within sound of my voice, stay where you're at, hunker down. It's too late to leave. Stay where you're at, and we'll be out at first light.
I was going to say, what happens if you start getting 911 calls, people wanting help immediately?
Yeah, so I just got off the phone with our division chief that's over the 911 center that we have, and we do have a lot of calls backing up, which is traditional. I think we had almost 2,000 calls backed up coming out of Hurricane Ian. So we prioritize those, and we'll be putting them in certain categories, and as soon as it's safe to go out, we will be addressing them. Obviously, folks that are medically dependent or having a medical issue take fire and EMS with us, but we triage those and we'll attack those when it's safe for the law enforcement to get back out on the road.
Okay, so to be clear, you're not sending teams out now?
No, we're not. All of our first in teams that are embedded in areas where they're safe until the weather passes and we can get out. So we have an emergency room physician in our 911 communication center. If we have a medical emergency and it's beyond the capability of our dispatchers, we'll put the doctor on the line. That's worked very well during Hurricane Ian. We had a high-risk pregnancy and we had 2 individuals that had a significant injury that we were able to talk them through being able to treat themselves until we were able to get there.
Wow. Just to loop back, because you said you've been there for 40 years and people are really heeding the warning this time around. What are you seeing that's different this time that you haven't seen before?
Well, people in areas of our county where they're kind of reluctant to leave, I'm familiar with those areas. Those areas appear to be vacant. And based on the volume of traffic that is on Interstate 4 going to Orlando and Interstate 75 going north to Tampa and into Georgia up that way, we've been watching the traffic cameras from our communications center. That's the most traffic and the most flow north out of a storm that I've seen. That goes all the way back to, Hurricane Andrew and Hurricane Charlie, which were significant storms in Florida.
Sheriff, I'll let you get back to it. I know you must be a very busy man at this point. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Good luck. Stay safe.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Power goes out.